Welcome to Sleeping with Science. It is lovely to have you here. Tonight we begin a journey together, one that blends the quiet flow of science with the soft rhythm of reflection. Before we start, I want to remind you that this story is here to ease you gently into rest. If sleep comes quickly, that is wonderful. If it waits a little while longer, that is no burden. For in the meantime you will travel through the fascinating world of dreams. And before we step inside, may I invite you, kindly, to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more journeys like this one, more explorations of science that can accompany you into the night. Dreams are among the most intimate experiences of human life. Every one of us has closed our eyes and entered landscapes that feel both familiar and strange. Sometimes we wake with vivid detail, recalling colors and voices as if they were part of waking life. Other times the dream slips away in seconds, leaving behind only a trace of feeling, like mist evaporating at dawn. Across cultures and centuries, people have wondered what dreams mean, where they come from, and why the mind weaves them night after night. Science has given us glimpses of answers. We know that dreaming is linked to cycles of sleep, that the brain shifts through stages marked by distinct rhythms. In some stages, the body rests deeply, repairing and restoring. In others, especially REM sleep, the brain becomes active again, almost as if it has woken, yet the body remains still. In these intervals, our minds create experiences that feel real, though they take place only within. It is in this mysterious space that we find the science of dreams. And yet, science is not the whole story. Dreams also carry a poetic quality, a reminder that human experience is not only about neurons and neurotransmitters, but also about imagination, longing, and memory. To dream is to enter an ocean beneath thought, a sea where fragments of the day mingle with ancient echoes. This inner ocean is vast, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, and though we sail it every night, its depths are still largely unknown. As we begin, think of this series as a kind of voyage. Each chapter will guide us through different waters, from the biology of sleep, to the neuroscience of dream creation, to the cultural traditions and modern research that shape our understanding. Along the way, we will pause, breathe, and allow the mind to soften. You may not remember every detail when morning comes, but the flow of knowledge, like a tide, will leave its imprint. So here, at the threshold of night, let us step into the science of dreams. Settle where you are, let your body find stillness, and allow the mind to wander. The journey has just begun, and it will carry us far into the landscapes of night. Before we can explore the world of dreams, we must first understand the stage on which they appear: sleep itself. Sleep may seem like an absence, a pause in consciousness, but science reveals it is one of the most complex and essential processes of the human body. Every night, without decision or effort, the brain guides us through a cycle of rhythms that keep us alive, restore balance, and prepare us for another day. Researchers divide sleep into stages. Light sleep is the gateway, where breathing slows, muscles relax, and the brain begins to change its rhythm. This deepens into slow-wave sleep, where brain activity synchronizes in long, steady pulses. In this state, the body repairs tissues, strengthens the immune system, and releases growth hormones. Finally, we enter rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, a state in which the brain becomes active again, eyes dart beneath closed lids, and the most vivid dreams occur. A healthy night alternates between these stages in cycles of roughly 90 minutes, repeating until morning. Why we need sleep remains one of biology's great questions. Evidence shows it is crucial for memory, for mood regulation, and for physical repair. Without sleep, cognitive performance declines, emotions become unstable, and the body falters. Sleep deprivation experiments have demonstrated that even the strongest willpower cannot overcome the need for rest. Animals, too, must sleep. Even dolphins and whales, who cannot afford complete stillness, let one half of the brain rest while the other keeps them moving. The universality of sleep suggests it is not optional but fundamental to life itself. Evolutionary theories propose several purposes. Some see sleep as energy conservation, a nightly lowering of activity when darkness makes hunting and gathering less safe. Others argue it is a time for cellular repair, a chance for the brain to clear waste products that build up during the day. Still others emphasize its role in learning, replaying experiences, strengthening important memories, discarding what is unnecessary. Perhaps sleep is all these things at once, a system so vital that nature never allowed any species to abandon it. There is also a humbling truth here. No matter how powerful, intelligent, or determined we may feel, all humans must eventually close their eyes and surrender to sleep. It is a reminder that we are part of nature, bound by rhythms older than ourselves. Sleep levels us, carrying every person back to the same tide each night, whether in palace or in hut, city or forest. Think of sleep as a cycle, like the rising and setting of the sun, or the ebb and flow of the sea. Each night it draws us inward, allowing the body to heal and the mind to renew. In its currents, dreams take form, shaped by biology, yet carrying us far beyond it. As we continue, we will step from the science of sleep itself into the threshold where dreams begin, the mysterious border between waking and the landscapes of night. When night deepens and the body finds its rhythm, a moment arrives when the mind begins to step into another world. This passage does not come with a clear signal, no bell announcing the change. Yet slowly, invisibly, the machinery of the brain shifts. What was quiet begins to stir, as if a hidden door has opened inside the sleeping mind. Through that doorway, dreams begin. The cycles of sleep carry us repeatedly into this space. In the stage called REM sleep, rapid eye movement flickers beneath closed lids, even though the body remains paralyzed to keep us safe. Electroencephalograms show patterns of brain activity that look surprisingly like wakefulness. The visual cortex, which processes images when we are awake, becomes active once more. So does the limbic system, seat of emotion and memory. Meanwhile, the regions that control logic and reason quiet down, leaving room for imagination to wander without restraint. This unusual blend explains why dreams feel so real and yet so strange. Sensory regions of the brain create images, sounds, even tastes and textures, though no external signals reach them. Memory fragments surface, stitched together without the guiding hand of rational thought. The emotional centers give dreams their force, whether joy, fear, or longing, while the quieted rational brain allows impossible combinations to flow without challenge. A loved one long gone may sit beside us, or familiar streets may melt into oceans. The dream does not ask permission, it simply unfolds. Though REM sleep is most famous for dreams, they are not confined to it. Studies show that dreams can occur in lighter, non-REM stages as well, though these are often less vivid, more like fleeting thoughts than full landscapes. Together, these cycles ensure that across the night we move in and out of many dream experiences, some detailed, some vague, all part of the rhythm of rest. Scientists continue to debate why this happens. Some argue that dreaming is an accident, a byproduct of the brain's nightly activity. Others see it as functional, rehearsing challenges, consolidating memories, regulating emotions. What is certain is that dreams are universal. Every culture has encountered them, every human mind produces them, and even when we forget, they leave traces behind. To reflect on this transition is to consider a threshold. Each night we step across it without knowing, from waking thought into a realm that seems to have its own rules. We do not travel outward into another world, but inward, into a landscape built by our own brain. Yet it feels external, immersive, as if we are both the creator and the visitor at once. Picture this threshold as a quiet doorway at the edge of thought. On one side lies waking life, structured and predictable. On the other side lies a shifting terrain, fluid, unpredictable, filled with images that vanish with dawn. Every night we cross this threshold many times, entering the realm of dreams, where science observes patterns and rhythms, but where mystery remains. When we speak of dreams, we often describe them as stories, unfolding scenes that feel as if they have been staged for us. Science reveals that in a sense, this is true. During REM sleep, the brain does not simply drift into chaos. It orchestrates activity across different regions, each contributing to the strange and vivid performances of the night. The cerebral cortex, responsible for higher thought, perception, and imagination, lights up again during REM sleep. The visual cortex paints images without input from the eyes, while the auditory cortex can conjure voices and sounds in perfect detail. The limbic system, particularly the amygdala and hippocampus, floods the dream with memory fragments and emotional weight. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, which governs logic, planning, and self-control, falls quiet. This imbalance allows surreal combinations to flourish, without rational judgment stepping in to protest. The stage is set for narratives that feel real, even when they defy waking logic. This interplay explains why dreams often feel cinematic. Settings shift rapidly, characters appear and disappear, events unfold with a sense of urgency or awe. Just as in theatre, the props and scenery come from what is at hand, memory fragments, emotional residues, and associations stored deep in the mind. Yet in dreams, the script is unwritten. The actors improvise, drawing from hidden corners of thought, weaving scenes that carry both strangeness and familiarity. Researchers have noted that this state is ideal for creativity. With logical oversight reduced, the brain connects ideas that might never meet during the day. Symbols arise not from conscious choice, but from the subconscious reaching for expression. Some of history's great inspirations have emerged from this nocturnal theatre, where science sees random activation but experience feels like revelation. It is tempting to imagine the brain as both director and audience. It creates the scenes and then experiences them, reacting with real emotions to situations it has invented. A dream of falling produces genuine fear, though the body lies safe in bed. A dream of reunion can bring tears, though the loved one exists only in memory. The boundaries blur until waking pulls us back, leaving behind a mixture of awe and confusion. The theatre of dreams is more than entertainment. It is a rehearsal space, a workshop where the mind experiments, rehearses, and explores. In dreams we face fears, relive joys, and test out responses without consequence. The brain, in its nightly performance, is not wasting time but engaging in a deeply human form of inner play. Consider this. Each night, without ticket or curtain, your mind raises its own stage. Lights shift, voices emerge, scenes unfold. You are both actor and audience, both storyteller and witness. The theatre closes at dawn, its set dismantled, yet the impression lingers, a reminder that within the quiet of sleep lies one of the most remarkable performances of nature. Some dreams arrive in shades so vivid they rival waking life. Others flicker like black and white films, fragile outlines without color. Why do dreams vary so greatly in intensity, hue, and detail? Science offers clues, showing how the sleeping brain paints its nightly canvases with a palette drawn from memory, perception, and imagination. During REM sleep, the visual cortex is active, producing imagery without input from the eyes. But the richness of these images depends on several factors. Neurotransmitters such as acetylcholine influence the vividness of mental imagery, while dopamine contributes to the emotional intensity that makes colors feel brighter, moments more striking. Memory also plays its role. People who regularly work with vibrant images, artists, designers, even those who spend much of their day outdoors, often report colorful dreams. Those whose daily lives are filled with muted tones may dream in quieter shades. Interestingly, cultural history reveals shifts in reported dream colors. In the early 20th century, many people claimed their dreams were largely monochrome. Some researchers argue this was influenced by black and white films and photography, which shaped how people described their inner imagery. As color media spread, so too did reports of colorful dreams. This suggests that perception and expectation blend in the dream state, shaping how experiences are recalled. Not all dreams are visual. Some are dominated by sound, touch, or emotion. The brain does not follow a fixed formula but assembles what is most resonant in a given moment. That is why one night may bring a luminous landscape of glowing skies, while another produces only the sense of movement or the sound of a voice. Each dream is unique, an improvisation painted in different shades, Reflecting on this reveals a simple truth. The brain is both artist and audience. It selects from pigments gathered in daily life and applies them freely, unconcerned with realism or coherence. A dream may open in muted greys, then burst into brilliance when emotion surges. Or it may remain quiet and pale, like chalk drawings on stone. Whether bright or dim, the impression is real to the dreamer, leaving traces that can linger long after waking. Consider dreams as galleries within the mind. Some rooms glow with color, others are shadowed, yet all belong to the same exhibition. Each night the brain arranges a new display, drawn from memory and emotion, offering scenes we could never plan. What seems like randomness is instead a living canvas, a reflection of how deeply perception and imagination are intertwined. As the night unfolds, the palette shifts, brushstrokes blur, and colors fade into dawn. What remains is not only the images themselves, but the reminder that the mind, even at rest, is endlessly creative. In every shade, whether bold or muted, dreams remind us that we carry an artist within. As we move deeper into the science of dreams, let us pause for a moment to return to the rhythm that makes them possible. Sleep itself is not a single block of stillness, but a sequence of repeating cycles, each carrying us through different stages of rest. Understanding these cycles reveals why dreams rise and fade, and why the night is not uniform but layered with shifting patterns. Scientists describe sleep in cycles of about 90 minutes, though the length can vary. Each cycle begins with light sleep, where the body relaxes and brain waves slow. It deepens into slow wave sleep, when restorative processes take place. Tissues repair, energy stores replenish, and the immune system strengthens. The cycle then moves into REM sleep, when dreams are most vivid and the brain's activity resembles waking life. This rhythm repeats 4 to 6 times in a typical night, forming a gentle alternation between physical repair and mental rehearsal. The timing of these cycles is guided by ultradian rhythms, shorter than the circadian rhythm that governs the overall day and night. Just as the circadian clock follows the sun, these ultradian rhythms follow an inner pulse, a biological metronome ticking inside us. They are steady, resilient, and shared across humanity, reminding us that we are carried by patterns older than rest, is not one long surrender but a dance of phases, each with its own purpose. The brain and body take turns tending to what matters. First the deep healing of tissues, then the bright rehearsals of dreams. This alternation is like a quiet heartbeat echoing in the night, a reminder that within apparent stillness there is always motion. For you listening now, this pause is also gentle. Perhaps you already feel yourself drifting into these rhythms, your breathing slow, your body easing into its own cycles. If sleep has come, let it carry you. If it has not, let this knowledge itself be calming, for your body is always moving toward balance, guided by its natural rhythms. Consider how remarkable it is that we do not need to think about this process. Sleep does not ask for conscious effort. The cycles begin and end on their own, like tides turning beneath the surface. Every night, the body remembers what the mind forgets: how to rest, how to dream, how to restore. As the night continues, these rhythms will bring new layers of dreaming, each chapter of sleep unfolding with its own quiet story. For now, take comfort in knowing that you are part of a pattern both delicate and strong, a pulse that links you to every living being who rests under the same turning sky. For much of history, people wondered if animals dream. The sight of a dog twitching in sleep, paws moving as if chasing, or a cat uttering small cries at night has long stirred curiosity. Science has now confirmed what observation suggested. Many animals do experience dreamlike states, their brains tracing patterns similar to our own. Experiments with rats have been especially revealing. When a rat learns to run a maze, recordings of its neurons show a specific firing sequence. Later, during sleep, the same sequence plays again, as if the rat is rehearsing the path. In some cases, the replay occurs even faster than in waking life, a compressed rehearsal of experience. This strongly suggests that rats not only sleep but dream of their daily challenges. Birds too offer evidence. Zebra finches, known for their complex songs, practice melodies in their dreams. Brain scans reveal that the neural patterns of singing repeat at night, as if the bird is rehearsing silently, fine-tuning its performance for the next dawn. Cuttlefish, with their shifting patterns of skin color, enter periods of rest where their bodies flash and ripple in sequences, hinting at an inner world of dreamlike rehearsal. This evidence points to a deep evolutionary role for dreaming. If animals use dreams to practice survival skills, running, singing, hunting, then dreaming is not uniquely human but a shared biological strategy. It suggests that the roots of dreaming stretch back hundreds of millions of years, long before humans appeared. Reflecting on this brings a sense of kinship. We share not only the need for sleep but the experience of dreams with countless other species. The forest at night becomes a vast chorus of dreamers. Wolves may relive the hunt, elephants recall paths to water, dolphins drift in half-brained sleep while still conjuring inner images. Humanity is part of this larger web of nightlife, one where dreaming is as natural as breathing. To see an animal dreaming is to glimpse a truth. The boundary between human and non-human is not as sharp as once believed. We all carry brains that store memory, generate emotion, and rehearse life in the safety of rest. Dreams reveal not only our own inner world but a continuity with the creatures who share the planet. Picture a forest or a plain under the quiet of stars. In burrows, nests, and dens, eyes are closed, bodies still. Yet within, minds are active, sketching invisible scenes. Each species dreams in its own way, shaped by its needs, but all are united by the rhythm of night. To dream is to belong to a lineage that spans far beyond humanity, a reminder that the mystery of sleep binds all life together. One of the most important functions of dreaming lies in how it shapes memory. While the body rests, the brain is far from idle. During sleep, especially in REM stages, it revisits experiences of the day, strengthening some and allowing others to fade. In this way, dreams act as part of the brain's filing system, organizing the vast library of lived moments. Studies with students learning new material show that those who sleep after studying recall information more clearly than those who stay awake. The same is true for motor skills. A pianist practicing late at night may wake with improved fluency, as if hours of rehearsal had continued invisibly. During sleep, neural connections are replayed, stabilized, or pruned away. Dreams reflect this activity, surfacing fragments of lessons, conversations, and emotions in shifting forms. Emotional memories receive special attention. Events charged with joy, fear, or sadness are more likely to reappear in dreams. The amygdala, the brain's emotional center, remains highly active at night, coloring dreams with strong feelings. By reliving these experiences, the brain softens their impact, weaving them into the broader fabric of memory. This is why difficult experiences often feel less raw after a night of rest. The process is not perfect. Dreams may distort or blend memories, creating scenes that never occurred but draw from real fragments. A familiar face may appear in an unfamiliar place, or a recent conversation may intertwine with echoes from years before. These distortions reveal how flexible memory is, less like a fixed archive and more like a living text, revised with each reading. Reflection offers an image of a library after hours. The shelves are not silent but alive with movement. Some books are pulled down, reread, and carefully placed back. Others are set aside, their pages no longer needed. A few are rearranged, filed in new sections, their meaning changed by context. Dreams are the librarians of the night, tending to the vast collection of human experience, ensuring that by morning the mind is lighter, clearer, and better prepared for the day. For the listener, this hidden work is a source of comfort. Even if the details of a dream slip away, its effect remains. Memories are sorted, burdens softened, and knowledge strengthened, all without conscious effort. Sleep is not only rest but renewal, a quiet process of remembering and forgetting that shapes who we are. When dawn arrives, we wake not only restored in body but reshaped in mind. The memories we carry forward are not simply preserved but refined, honed by the quiet labor of sleep. Each night, dreams participate in the story of who we are, editing the manuscript of memory so that life can continue to unfold. Dreams rarely present themselves as clear reports of daily life. Instead, they arrive in symbols, where ordinary objects take on extraordinary weight. A staircase may feel like a challenge, a storm like an inner conflict, or a stranger like a hidden aspect of the self. Science shows that these images are not messages from outside, but the brain's way of weaving together memory, emotion, and imagination into stories that the waking mind interprets as symbols. Psychologists have studied recurring dream motifs across cultures. Falling is among the most common, often linked to a sense of insecurity or loss of control. Flying appears frequently, associated with freedom or escape. Being chased, another universal, reflects fear and anxiety, the rehearsal of threat in a safe environment. While each person's experience is unique, the recurrence of these themes suggests that the human brain favors certain patterns when converting feelings into imagery. From a neurological perspective, this symbolic language arises from how the brain processes emotions. The amygdala charges experiences with feeling, while the visual cortex provides imagery to embody them. Dreams cannot present abstract concepts directly, they need shape, texture, and movement. A fear of failure may emerge as an exam unprepared for, a hope for change as a door waiting to be opened. The imagery is not coded in a secret language but constructed on the fly, drawing from personal experience. Anthropologists note that humans have long sought meaning in these images. Ancient cultures built elaborate systems of dream interpretation, from Mesopotamian guides to the dream books of medieval Europe. Modern psychology has added new layers of interpretation, though the consensus today is cautious. Dreams are meaningful as reflections of personal life, but not as universal prophecy. Reflection reveals dreams as mosaics. Each tile is drawn from memory, emotion, or imagination, but their arrangement is unfamiliar. We recognize the pieces, yet the picture they form can feel alien. This mosaic is not fixed, nor does it follow a single code. It shifts each night, revealing how deeply the brain relies on images to explore feelings too complex for words. For the listener, this offers reassurance. If a dream feels strange or troubling, it is not a verdict but a mirror, shaped by what is carried inside. A dream does not predict the future but reflects the present, dramatizing inner life in ways both puzzling and profound. Imagine standing before a mosaic wall at dawn, the tiles catching light in new ways each moment. You see fragments you recognize, a color, a shape, but the pattern is always changing. This is how dreams speak, in images assembled from what you already know, arranged into pictures you have never seen. Long before laboratories measured brain waves or psychologists wrote theories, humans told stories about their dreams. These early interpretations did not separate science from myth or physiology from meaning. Dreams were seen as messages, as warnings, as glimpses into other realms. In the absence of modern knowledge, they became part of humanity's oldest attempts to understand the unseen. Archaeologists have uncovered clay tablets from Mesopotamia, inscribed with dreams and their interpretations. These records show kings and commoners alike searching for guidance in their night visions. In Egypt, dream books explained what certain images meant, with instructions on how to act upon them. A dream of the Nile rising might signal abundance, while one of fire could suggest danger. For the Greeks, dreams could be divine communication. At the temples of Asclepius, the god of healing, people slept in hopes of receiving dreams that would reveal cures. These traditions reveal how deeply dreams were woven into early culture. They were not treated as private curiosities, but as collective experiences with public significance. Communities gathered to hear dreams and to interpret them together. In this way, dreams became both personal and social, shaping decisions, rituals, and beliefs. Modern science looks back on these practices with caution, noting that dreams reflect inner life rather than external messages. Yet there is something enduring in the human impulse to find meaning in the night. We see patterns in stars, stories in constellations, and truths in dreams. The urge to interpret may be as old as storytelling itself. Dreams were humanity's first literature. Around fires, in temples, in homes, People shared visions from sleep as if they were chapters in a communal book. The stories blurred lines between waking and dreaming, between individual and community. Each dream carried not only its dreamer but the voices of others who listened and added meaning. Imagine a circle of people gathered in the dark, a fire casting light on their faces. One begins to speak of a vision seen in the night, and the others lean closer. They hear not only the details but the echoes of their own lives in the telling. The dream is no longer a solitary event but a shared text, binding the group together. The oldest dream stories remind us that humans have always sought connection through the mysteries of the night. Dreams were never only about the dreamer. They were about the bonds created in the telling, the community strengthened in the act of listening. Though science has since replaced prophecy with brain imaging, the impulse to share a dream at breakfast or to wonder aloud about its meaning still ties us to those ancient circles around the fire. Dreams do more than replay memories or stir imagination. They also help restore balance to the mind. In the hours when the body rests most deeply, the brain undertakes the delicate work of emotional repair. Dreams are part of this process, carrying the weight of the day into scenes that allow us to face, soften, and release what might otherwise remain unresolved. Research in sleep laboratories shows that during REM sleep, emotional centers such as the amygdala remain active, while stress-related chemicals like noradrenaline are reduced. This combination allows the brain to revisit troubling memories in a calmer state. The emotions are felt again, but the sting is softened, as if the mind is rehearsing them in safer conditions. This explains why upsetting events often feel less sharp after a night of sleep. Dreams offer rehearsal without consequence, allowing emotional wounds to begin closing. Studies on trauma survivors highlight this role. Those with disrupted REM sleep often struggle to integrate painful memories, leading to recurring nightmares. When REM cycles are restored, the mind gradually reprocesses the trauma, reducing its intensity. Even for those not facing trauma, everyday stress and anxiety are woven into dream imagery, transformed into stories that help the brain adapt. Reflection reveals dreams as rivers of renewal. They gather the fragments of experience, carry them through the night, and return them smoother, less jagged. Just as flowing water wears down stone, the mind reshapes memories, leaving them easier to carry. Dreams are not erasers, but sculptors, turning sharp edges into more gentle forms. Beyond psychology, many cultures recognize the healing power of dreams. Ancient healers believed that visions could diagnose illness or reveal remedies. In temples of sleep, the sick sought dreams for guidance. Today, therapists may use dream recall to uncover hidden emotions, integrating them into treatment. Across time, the idea has remained: dreams can heal what is unseen. For the listener, this science offers reassurance. Even in nights when dreams seem strange, fragmented, or forgotten by morning, they may still be working quietly on the mind's behalf. Healing does not require remembering. It takes place beneath awareness, guided by rhythms older than language. Think of dreams as gentle rivers flowing through the mind at night. They do not erase the past, but they change its shape, smoothing what was jagged, clarifying what was clouded. When morning comes, you rise, not only rested in body but steadier in spirit. The healing of dreams may be invisible, but its effects reach into every waking day. To understand how deeply dreams are woven into human history, we must look back to the earliest civilizations. Long before laboratories and brain scans, dreams were recorded in stone and papyrus, interpreted as messages from gods, or used to guide decisions of state. For the ancients, dreams were not private flickers of imagination but public events, often carrying weight equal to waking life. In Mesopotamia, clay tablets dating back nearly 4,000 years describe dreams and their meanings. Kings consulted dream interpreters before battles, believing that visions of victory or defeat could predict the outcome. Dreams were classified into those sent by benevolent gods and those that carried warnings, each requiring rituals of interpretation. These texts reveal a systematic approach, as if dream analysis were itself a science, structured and rule-bound. Egyptian culture also left behind rich dream traditions. In the so-called Chester Beatty Papyrus, symbols from dreams were catalogued alongside interpretations. A dream of drinking cool water might be read as a sign of health, while walking through fire could mean danger. Egyptians saw dreams as direct lines to the divine, offering knowledge that could not be gained by ordinary means. For the Greeks, dreams occupied a central place in philosophy and medicine. At the temples of Asclepius, the god of healing, the sick slept in special chambers, hoping for dreams that would reveal cures. These sacred spaces, known as incubation sites, treated the dream itself as part of the healing process. Greek thinkers, too, speculated about dreams. Aristotle suggested they were echoes of daily experience, while others saw them as divine whispers. Contemporary studies would call these interpretations symbolic projections, reflecting cultural beliefs more than neurological truth. Yet the persistence of such practices shows how powerfully dreams shaped ancient lives. They were not curiosities but instruments of decision-making, woven into law, healing, and religion. These ancient dream traditions were also acts of storytelling. When priests or philosophers spoke of dreams, they were not simply recounting visions but transforming them into narratives of meaning. This storytelling gave communities a sense of control over the unpredictable, turning night visions into guides for action. Imagine stepping into a temple where torches flicker on carved walls. The air is heavy with incense. A figure lies sleeping on a stone bed, awaiting the dream that will decide whether a journey is safe, a harvest will succeed, or an illness will pass. Around them, a community waits, ready to hear the message carried from the night. Though centuries have passed, the impulse to seek wisdom in dreams remains. Today we may look for meaning in brain scans instead of sacred symbols, but the desire is the same, to understand what happens when the mind turns inward and why those inner stories feel so powerful. The ancients remind us that dreams have always been companions, shaping human history as much as they shape the private landscapes of the night. Across the world's great religions, dreams hold a place of reverence. They are treated not merely as private experiences, but as potential revelations, carrying truths beyond waking thought. From scriptures to sacred rituals, night visions are woven into traditions that continue to shape spiritual life. In the Hebrew Bible, dreams often serve as divine communication. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dream of 7 fat and 7 lean cows, foretelling years of abundance followed by famine. Daniel deciphers Nebuchadnezzar's visions, revealing hidden truths about empires and their fall. These stories depict dreams as more than images. They are messages delivered across the boundary between human and divine. In the Quran, dreams are also given importance. Muhammad himself is said to have experienced visions that prepared him for revelation. Islamic tradition distinguishes between true dreams, deceptive dreams, and ordinary dreams, offering guidance on how believers should treat each. Many Muslims still speak of dreams as a source of comfort, warning, or encouragement. Buddhist and Hindu traditions view dreams through yet another lens. They are seen as reflections of the mind's nature, teaching impermanence and illusion. In Tibetan Buddhism, dream yoga is practiced to cultivate awareness even in sleep, training the mind to see through illusions in both dreaming and waking life. Dreams here are not just experiences but opportunities for spiritual growth. Indigenous cultures, too, give dreams sacred weight. Among many Native American nations, visions in dreams are part of spiritual journeys, guiding individuals toward purpose. In Aboriginal Australian traditions, the dream time is not a dream in the nightly sense, but a timeless dimension where the sacred world unfolds, linking people to land, ancestors, and creation itself. Today's research looks at these traditions and sees the imprint of culture. What is interpreted as divine communication may be the brain's memory networks, emotional processing, or random activation. Yet to reduce them to physiology alone misses something. These traditions show how humans have always sought meaning in the mystery of sleep, how dreams connect the personal with the communal, and the temporal with the eternal. Religious dreams function as bridges. They span the gap between the visible world and what communities hold sacred. In visions of angels, gods, or ancestors, dreamers encounter the unseen in forms they can understand. These bridges offer guidance, comfort, or warning, carrying spiritual weight no less real for being mediated through the mind. Imagine a temple, a mosque, a monastery, or a camp beneath the stars. In each, someone stirs from sleep with a dream to share. The listeners do not dismiss it as a fragment of the brain, but receive it as a thread in the fabric of faith. In that moment, the dream belongs not only to the dreamer but to the community, shaping belief and practice alike. Across traditions, dreams remind us that spirituality is not confined to waking hours. Even in sleep, humans search for connection with the sacred, finding in visions of the night both mystery and meaning. Dreams are not only mysterious but generative. Many of humanity's creative leaps, from art to science to music, have emerged from visions born in sleep. In these moments, the mind weaves connections it cannot make by daylight, offering insights that seem to arrive whole, as gifts from the night. History provides striking examples. The chemist Auguste Kekulé dreamt of a snake biting its tail and awoke with the structure of the benzene ring in mind, a discovery that transformed chemistry. The poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge composed vivid verses after a dream, though the poem Kubla Khan was famously left unfinished when he was interrupted upon waking. Paul McCartney once recalled a melody that came to him in sleep, a tune that became the song Yesterday. Salvador Dalí practiced deliberately waking from naps at the moment of dreaming, capturing surreal images that fed directly into his art. Science explains this by pointing to the brain's associative networks. During REM sleep, the usual constraints of logic are loosened, while emotional and sensory regions remain active. This combination allows unusual connections to form. A scientist may see a new solution, an artist a fresh image, a musician an unheard harmony. Dreams do not invent from nothing but rearrange what is already known, offering new configurations that waking thought might never allow. Reflection reveals dreams as sparks on a canvas of darkness. They ignite briefly, illuminating possibilities hidden in ordinary life. Though many fade with the dawn, some remain, carrying the potential to change not only an individual's work but entire fields of knowledge. These sparks remind us that the mind, even at rest, is endlessly inventive. For those who have experienced such inspiration, dreams feel like collaborations with the unconscious. What emerges in sleep is not under our control, yet it feels deeply personal, as though the mind itself were offering a gift. Even dreams that are strange or fragmented may carry seeds of creativity, waiting for the waking mind to nurture them. Picture a dark canvas in a quiet studio. For most of the night it lies untouched, but now and then a spark flares across it, leaving behind a mark. Over time, these sparks gather into shapes, images, and ideas, forming patterns that can be seen only in retrospect. This is the artistry of the dreaming brain, painting with light where waking thought sees only shadow. Dreams and creativity remind us that the boundary between science and art is not sharp. Both arise from the brain's capacity to imagine beyond what is immediately visible. In the theater of sleep, where logic is hushed and emotion speaks freely, creativity finds fertile ground. From those visions, the waking world gains poems, songs, and discoveries that continue to shape our lives. Among all dream experiences, lucid dreaming holds a special fascination. It is the state in which the dreamer becomes aware they are dreaming, sometimes even gaining the ability to shape the dream itself. The line between waking and sleeping blurs, producing an experience that feels both real and surreal at once. Scientific studies confirm lucid dreaming is more than a myth. Researchers have used electroencephalograms and eye movement signals to show that lucid dreamers can communicate from within their dreams. By moving their eyes in predetermined patterns while dreaming, they prove awareness without waking. These experiments reveal that consciousness can indeed persist during sleep, even while the body remains still. Lucid dreams occur most often in REM sleep, when the brain is already highly active. The prefrontal cortex, which normally quiets during dreaming, shows a surge of activity in lucid states. This may explain why awareness returns. Logic, self-reflection, and control reawaken within the dream. Some people train themselves to reach this state through methods such as reality checks during the day or by repeating intentions before sleep. Others slip into lucidity by chance, carried suddenly into awareness in the middle of a dream. Reports from lucid dreamers describe extraordinary experiences, flying across landscapes, conversing with dream characters, or practicing skills without fear of failure. Athletes have used lucid dreams to rehearse movements. Artists describe visions that spark creative work. While not every dream can be controlled, even the act of realizing one is dreaming changes the experience, bringing clarity to the otherwise unpredictable. The phenomenon raises intriguing questions about consciousness itself. If awareness can return during dreaming, what does this say about the nature of self? Lucid dreams suggest that consciousness is not fixed to waking life but can stretch across states, adapting to new conditions. The dreamer is both participant and observer, shaping and being shaped at once. Think of lucid dreams as mirrors of clear glass. They reflect the dreamer's awareness back at them, yet they also open into deeper layers. Through the glass lies a world built by the brain, but within it, the dreamer walks with open eyes. This rare clarity reveals that even in sleep, the mind is capable of astonishing awareness. For many, the pursuit of lucid dreaming becomes a way to explore creativity, face fears, or simply enjoy the wonder of awareness in another world. Science studies its patterns, but for those who have experienced it, the memory often carries a sense of awe, as though the boundaries of reality had briefly expanded. As we journey further into the science of dreams, it is time once more to pause. Dreams arise not in isolation, but within the broader flow of sleep itself. To understand them fully, we must return to the rhythms that cradle them, the natural cycles that carry us through the night. Circadian rhythms are the body's internal clock, tuned to the cycle of day and night. Light striking the eyes signals the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a cluster of cells in the brain that directs hormones, temperature, and alertness. Melatonin begins to rise in the evening, guiding the body toward rest, while cortisol peaks in the morning to prepare for wakefulness. Within this 24-hour pattern, dreams find their place, embedded in the nightly ebb and flow. Dream timing is also shaped by sleep hygiene, the habits that prepare the body and mind for rest. Regular sleep schedules, low light in the evening, and calm routines all encourage smoother cycles. When these patterns are disrupted by stress, irregular hours, or artificial light, dreams may be shortened, fragmented, or harder to recall. Science shows that even subtle changes in rhythm can alter the quality of both sleep and dreaming. This is a gentle reminder that your body already carries the wisdom of these cycles. You do not need to control or command them. As you sit or lie listening now, your inner rhythms are at work. Perhaps melatonin is rising, gently signaling the body to let go. Perhaps your breathing has already slowed, guided by the natural clock that ticks without your effort. There is something reassuring in knowing that rest does not depend on willpower. Sleep arrives because your body is designed for it, attuned to the turn of day into night. Even if you remain awake for a while longer, those rhythms continue their steady work, preparing the ground for dreams to come. Think of circadian rhythms as the moon guiding the tides. Though unseen, they pull gently on the body, shaping the rise and fall of energy, the timing of rest, the unfolding of dreams. You are part of this larger pattern, carried on a current that moves with every living being. For tonight, let that current hold you. There is no need to hurry or worry. The science is clear. Your body knows how to sleep, and your dreams will arrive in their time. As we return to our exploration, let this reminder soften the mind, easing it into harmony with the rhythms that sustain both waking life and the secret landscapes of night. Stories of shared dreams have appeared in every corner of human culture. Friends who claim they dreamed the same scene, lovers who report meeting each other in sleep, or groups who describe visions that echo one another. Such accounts stir both wonder and skepticism. The idea that two minds could cross paths in the night suggests a mystery larger than science has yet explained. Researchers have investigated these claims with care. Controlled studies have found little evidence that two people can literally dream the same content. Much of the similarity seems to arise from chance, suggestion, or shared waking experiences. If two friends spend a day together at the beach, it is not surprising if both dream of waves that night. Likewise, When a culture teaches that dreams can be shared, people may be more likely to interpret their experiences as connected. Still, the phenomenon is worth exploring. Experiments have shown that dream themes are influenced by waking life, culture, and expectation. If people expect to dream together, they may unconsciously create overlapping narratives. This does not prove telepathy but does reveal how fluid and malleable dream content can be. Even without literal sharing, dreams often feel communal. Themes such as being chased, falling, or flying appear across humanity, linking dreamers through common symbols. In this sense, we already share our dreams, not in precise detail but in the universality of their patterns. From another angle, shared dreams can be understood as metaphors for human connection. The fact that people want to dream together speaks to our longing for closeness, for bonds that extend even into sleep. To speak of a dream to someone else is already to share it, transforming a private image into part of a relationship. The image of shared dreams can be seen as threads in a tapestry. Each dream is its own strand, woven separately, yet when placed beside others, patterns appear. The overlap is not literal, but it feels real to those who tell their stories together. Science may remain cautious, but the experience still holds meaning. For the listener, this reminds us that dreams are not as solitary as they seem. They are part of a wider fabric of human life, shaped by culture, community, and expectation. Even when we dream alone, the images we carry are drawn from the shared world of language, memory, and experience. Shared dreams may not be proof of minds touching across distances, but they show how deeply dreams connect us. In telling them, we invite others into our inner world, and in listening, we enter theirs. The mystery may lie less in whether two people dream the same thing, and more in how dreams help us feel less alone. For many cultures, dreams were not only mysterious visions, but also practical tools of healing. Across centuries and continents, they were treated as guides to diagnose illness, reveal cures, or connect with forces beyond the body. Even today, the idea that dreams can heal persists, echoing through both traditional practices and modern therapy. In ancient Greece, the temples of Asclepius served as sanctuaries where the sick came to seek healing through dreams. Visitors would undergo purification rituals before sleeping in sacred chambers, hoping for visions that would reveal treatments or bring comfort. Priests listened carefully to the dreams reported at dawn, interpreting them as prescriptions from the divine. Healing, in this view, came not only from herbs and remedies but from the dream itself. Among indigenous cultures, dreams often played a central role in medicine. Shamans entered altered states to receive visions, using dreams to understand illness and guide rituals. In many Native American traditions, dreams were considered journeys of the spirit, where guidance from ancestors or animal helpers could provide strength and direction. For Aboriginal Australians, dream visions connected individuals with the dreaming, a sacred dimension that linked health to land, community, and creation. Modern psychology also acknowledges the healing potential of dreams, though framed differently. Therapists sometimes use dream recall to uncover unconscious emotions, helping people confront what they cannot easily express while awake. Dreams may provide metaphors that point to inner struggles, offering starting points for conversation and healing. Research shows that simply narrating a dream in therapy can help people process trauma, reduce anxiety, and reframe their experiences. From another perspective, dreams themselves may be healing even without interpretation. The emotional regulation that occurs during REM sleep softens painful memories and reduces stress responses. Dreams, in this sense, are not only symbolic but physiological medicine, part of the body's nightly work to restore balance. The image of dream healing can be likened to smoke rising from a fire. Invisible yet powerful, the smoke carries signals, shaping the air around it. In rituals, the smoke was read as a message from the unseen. In science, dreams are understood as signals from the brain. In both cases, they move between worlds, bridging the physical and the intangible. The lesson is clear. Whether viewed as spiritual guidance or biological function, dreams hold the power to soothe and renew. They may not always cure illness, but they offer something equally valuable: insight, comfort, and the quiet reshaping of the mind. When we look back on these healing traditions, we see a common theme. Across temples, camps, and clinics, humans have trusted that the visions of sleep can restore what waking life cannot. That trust, repeated across time, is itself a form of medicine, reminding us that hope often begins in the places we least control, the hidden landscapes of the night. Not all dreams are gentle. Some arrive with such force that they jolt us awake, leaving the heart racing and the mind unsettled. These are nightmares, and though they are often unpleasant, they serve a vital role in the life of the brain. Far from being meaningless disturbances, nightmares reflect one of the mind's oldest survival strategies. Research shows that nightmares frequently occur during REM sleep, the stage most associated with vivid dreaming. The amygdala, a region tied to fear and emotional intensity, is highly active during this stage. When threatening memories or anxieties surface, the brain creates scenarios that echo danger. Being chased, falling from heights, or facing attackers are common themes. These experiences may feel overwhelming, yet they mirror the challenges of survival, rehearsed in the safety of sleep. The threat simulation theory proposes that nightmares evolved as a form of practice. By repeatedly confronting danger in dreams, humans, and perhaps our ancestors, could prepare responses without real risk. A child who dreams of being chased may be rehearsing flight, strengthening the neural pathways that control escape. Adults who face fears in dreams may wake with a slightly steadier ability to manage them in life. Nightmares also reveal how trauma affects the mind. For those who have lived through violence, war, or disaster, dreams may replay these events with terrifying clarity. In post-traumatic stress disorder, such dreams become persistent, disrupting rest. Research shows that therapeutic techniques, including imagery rehearsal therapy, can help reshape nightmares, replacing fearful endings with safer ones. This reveals how flexible dreams can be, and how even distressing visions can be transformed into healing. There is also the everyday nightmare, the exam left unfinished, the lost child, the sudden fall. These may not stem from trauma, but from daily stress and uncertainty. Their recurrence shows how the mind seizes ordinary worries and turns them into exaggerated symbols. The result may be discomfort at night, but often it brings relief by morning, the fear worked through in rehearsal. Nightmares can be thought of as storms across the night sky. They gather quickly, rumble with power, and sometimes strike with intensity. Yet storms pass, and in their aftermath the air feels clearer. Just as lightning illuminates the landscape for a moment, nightmares reveal the contours of fear, bringing what is hidden into brief light. It is worth remembering that nightmares are not failures of rest, but part of its complexity. They may startle and disturb, but they also serve a purpose, helping the mind confront and contain what might otherwise overwhelm it. In facing shadows at night, we prepare ourselves for challenges by day. Dreams are not only private experiences but also stories meant to be shared. In many societies, people have gathered at dawn to tell one another their visions of the night. These rituals of dream sharing transformed individual experiences into collective meaning, binding communities through narratives that blurred the line between waking and dreaming. Anthropologists have documented morning gatherings in indigenous cultures where dreams were recounted around fires or in communal spaces. These retellings were not idle chatter but carried weight, shaping decisions, rituals, and even justice. A dream might reveal the need for a journey, warn of danger, or offer reassurance. To withhold a dream could be seen as withholding knowledge vital to the group. In ancient Greece, symposiums sometimes included discussions of dreams, treating them as topics worthy of philosophical debate. In other traditions, elders interpreted the dreams of younger members, helping them understand their place in the community. Dreams, in these contexts, were less about solitary meaning and more about shared wisdom. Science today suggests that storytelling strengthens memory and builds social cohesion. By recounting dreams, people rehearse events, practice communication, and reinforce bonds. The act of sharing also helps process emotions, turning private fears into communal understanding. What may seem like superstition in one light becomes, in another, a sophisticated social tool. One way to view dreams is as natural storytellers. They weave together fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination into narratives that may be confusing but still follow arcs recognizable as stories. Even when they lack clear beginnings or endings, dreams possess rhythm and movement, a sense of unfolding drama that mirrors the structure of myths and folktales. This narrative quality may explain why humans have always sought to tell their dreams. To speak them aloud is to continue the story into waking life, adding new layers through interpretation. A dream of a journey may become a metaphor for change. A dream of danger, a reminder of caution. The dream begins in the mind, but grows as it passes through language into community. Think of a campfire at night, flames rising and falling as voices carry across the circle. Each person adds their dream to the fire's glow, contributing to a tapestry of shared imagination. The stories do not always align, but together they create a sense of connection that stretches beyond the individual. In this way, dreams act as storytellers twice, once in the night, shaping visions, and once again in the morning, as words spoken among others. For the listener, there is comfort in knowing that dreams, though personal, are also part of something larger. They remind us that we are not alone in our questions, our fears, or our hopes. In telling and listening, we weave ourselves into a human tradition, as old as memory itself, carried forward by the stories of the night. When psychology first began to take shape as a formal discipline, few topics stirred as much fascination as dreams. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, two thinkers gave them center stage, Sigmund Freud and Carl Gustav Jung. Their interpretations continue to influence not only therapy but also culture, even as science has moved in new directions. Freud, often called the father of psychoanalysis, described dreams as the royal road to the unconscious. He believed they were disguised expressions of repressed desires, often linked to sexuality and hidden wishes. In his view, dreams contained both a manifest content, the storyline remembered in the morning, and a latent content, the hidden meaning beneath. By analyzing symbols, slips, and associations, Freud sought to uncover the unspoken truths of the mind. Jung, once Freud's collaborator, diverged with his own vision. He saw dreams not just as personal messages but as part of a deeper collective unconscious shared by all humans. Within this realm, Jung identified archetypes, universal images such as the shadow, the mother, the hero. Dreams, in his interpretation, were not only attempts to satisfy repressed desires but also efforts to balance the psyche, to guide personal growth through encounters with these archetypes. Although many of their theories lack empirical support by today's standards, Freud and Jung shaped the way modern culture thinks about dreams. Freud's idea of hidden desire and Jung's imagery of archetypes appear not only in therapy but in literature, art, and film. Their legacies reveal how powerful the urge to interpret dreams has always been, even when the interpretations are debated. From another angle, these theories are themselves a kind of dream. Both Freud and Jung constructed imaginative frameworks, weaving together observation, speculation, and cultural metaphor. Their models were stories of the mind, attempts to chart the unseen with the tools available at their time. They remind us that science is also a narrative, always provisional, always evolving. To visualize their contributions, one might picture a labyrinth. Freud mapped its passages as routes of desire and repression, while Jung illuminated its chambers with archetypal figures. Walking through this labyrinth, we see echoes of our own minds, part personal, part universal, endlessly complex. These early psychological interpretations show how dreams have always invited meaning-making. Even if the details of Freud's or Jung's theories no longer hold as scientific truth, their work underscores the role of dreams as bridges between inner life and outer expression. They invite us to consider not only what dreams are but also how we tell stories about them. Dreams in Freud and Jung's hands became mirrors of humanity's deepest concerns, and though today's neuroscience follows different paths, these early frameworks endure, reminding us that the search for understanding is itself part of the dream. Each night, while the body surrenders to stillness, the brain engages in one of its most complex performances. Far from shutting down, it becomes a workshop alive with activity, balancing chemistry, repairing connections, and rehearsing experience. What feels like unconsciousness is in truth a kind of backstage labor, where the unseen work of the night supports the clarity of the day. Neuroscience has mapped some of this hidden choreography. During deep non-REM sleep, slow waves sweep across the cortex, quieting overall activity while allowing cells to rest and recover. In this stage, growth hormone is released, supporting repair of tissues and strengthening of the immune system. Synapses, the tiny junctions between neurons, undergo pruning and adjustment, a process that keeps the brain efficient and flexible. Without these nightly calibrations, thought becomes sluggish, mood unstable, and learning impaired. REM sleep, in contrast, is a surge of activity. The brain's electrical patterns resemble wakefulness, yet the body is paralyzed by design, prevented from acting out dreams. In this stage, the hippocampus replays memory traces, while the neocortex integrates them into long-term storage. At the same time, emotional circuits remain active, giving vivid shape to experiences in dreams. The alternation of non-REM and REM stages creates a cycle of cleansing and integration, repeated several times through the night. The night's work also involves clearing physical waste. Only recently has research shown that cerebrospinal fluid flows more freely during sleep, washing away metabolic byproducts that accumulate during wakefulness. Among these is beta-amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. This glymphatic system acts as a nighttime janitor, rinsing the brain's pathways so they remain clear for the day ahead. From another perspective, this activity shows how misleading the word rest can be. Sleep is not passive, it is one of the most active states the brain knows, though its energy is directed inward. It is like a city at night, the streets quiet, but beneath them, networks hum with repair, transport, and construction. The visible surface may sleep, but the foundations are alive with effort. For the dreamer, this knowledge is comforting. Even when we drift into darkness and memory of the night dissolves by morning, the brain has been tirelessly at work. It has filtered, sorted, rebuilt, and washed, all without request or command. Sleep is not something to achieve, but something that happens, guided by systems older than humanity itself. One might see the brain's nightly work as an orchestra playing without an audience. The musicians tune, rehearse, and perfect the score in darkness, so that when daylight returns, the performance of waking life can unfold with clarity. What is unseen at night enables what is possible by day. In this way, dreams are not distractions or curiosities, but part of the deeper labor of sleep. They emerge from the very circuits that repair memory, regulate emotion, and cleanse the brain. The night's work is never wasted. It shapes the self we wake to each morning, reminding us that rest is the most essential labor of all. Nearly everyone has experienced it. The sense of waking with a dream still vivid, only to feel it dissolve within minutes, leaving behind little more than fragments or moods. The forgetting of dreams is so common that it can seem like an error of memory, but in truth it is part of the brain's design. To forget most dreams is not a failure, but a feature. Research shows that the transition from sleep to wakefulness plays a central role in this loss. During dreaming, especially in REM sleep, the brain is active, weaving elaborate narratives. Yet the hippocampus, critical for transferring short-term experiences into long-term memory, does not function in its usual way. Without this transfer, dream memories remain fragile, fading quickly when consciousness returns. The chemistry of the brain also contributes. Levels of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter linked to memory consolidation, are unusually low during REM sleep. This biochemical quiet reduces the likelihood that dream content will be stored like waking experiences. It is as if the brain deliberately shields us from remembering too much of its nightly theater, preventing the flood of dream imagery from overwhelming daily life. Even so, some dreams are remembered, particularly when they carry strong emotion or when we awaken in the middle of them. Waking directly from REM increases recall because the dream content is still active in working memory. Keeping a dream journal by the bed takes advantage of this narrow window, helping people anchor fragile impressions before they vanish. Psychologists suggest another reason for forgetting. Dreams are built differently than waking events. Their logic is looser. their narratives fragmented. Because memory relies on coherence and meaning, dreams that lack a stable storyline are harder to encode. Forgetting them may be less about failure than about their slippery structure. From another angle, forgetting serves a protective role. If we remembered every dream in detail, our waking minds might struggle to distinguish between the events of sleep and the events of life. Forgetting creates a necessary boundary, allowing us to carry the emotional benefits of dreaming without the clutter of its full imagery. The image of dreams slipping away can be likened to writing on water. For a moment the words are visible, shimmering on the surface, then they vanish, leaving no trace. Yet the act of writing still mattered. The hand moved, the thought flowed, and in some subtle way the experience shaped the self, even if the record is gone. This knowledge can be reassuring. To forget dreams does not mean they were wasted. The brain still processed emotions, rehearsed scenarios, and integrated memories. Whether or not we can recall the details, the benefit remains even in absence of recollection. Each morning, as the mind awakens and the veil of night thins, dreams recede by design. What we keep is not the full narrative, but a lighter sense of self, shaped by the hidden work of the night. Forgetting is not loss, but a quiet gift, a way the brain protects clarity by letting go of excess. Nightmares often leave us shaken, but they are not only disturbances. For many people, these intense dreams also carry the possibility of healing. They confront us with fear in concentrated form. Yet by doing so they create a space in which the mind can process what waking life resists. In this way, nightmares hold both pain and potential. Clinical research shows that nightmares frequently arise after trauma. Veterans of war, survivors of accidents, and those who have faced violence often report recurring visions that echo the original experience. These dreams may replay events vividly or distort them into symbolic forms. Either way, they serve as reminders that the brain is still working to integrate what has happened. Nightmares are the mind's way of insisting that unprocessed memories cannot simply be buried. While they are distressing, nightmares also provide opportunities for treatment. Therapies such as imagery rehearsal therapy invite patients to rewrite their nightmares while awake, giving them new endings. A person who dreams of being pursued may imagine turning to confront the pursuer or finding a safe escape. By rehearsing these revised narratives, the brain learns new patterns, and the frequency of nightmares often decreases. This demonstrates how flexible dream content can be, even when rooted in deep pain. Neuroscience explains this healing role by pointing to emotional regulation during REM sleep. In ordinary dreaming, fear is revisited in a context of lowered stress chemistry, making it easier to process. In trauma, this system may be disrupted, leading to nightmares that feel overwhelming. By reshaping these dreams in therapy, the brain is nudged back into its natural rhythm of confronting and softening emotional memory. Nightmares unrelated to trauma also play a role in growth. A child who repeatedly dreams of falling may gradually develop confidence through facing the fear, learning to manage anxiety in waking life. Adults may discover unresolved worries hidden in their nightmares, finding through reflection what needs attention. Though uncomfortable, these dreams can act as signals, pointing toward areas of life that require care. One way to view nightmares is as wildfires in a forest. They scorch, they unsettle, and they leave marks. Yet after the flames subside, new growth often appears. In this way, nightmares clear emotional ground, allowing healthier patterns to take root. They are dangerous in the moment, but they also carry the possibility of renewal. For the listener, this perspective offers a shift. Nightmares may not be welcome, but they need not be seen only as intruders. They are part of the same system that brings healing in ordinary dreams, only louder, more urgent. Even when they disturb sleep, they are reminders that the mind is working to protect itself, to process what weighs too heavily. When nightmares fade, they often leave behind not only relief but strength. The healing they bring is rarely immediate, but over time they can soften trauma, reduce fear, and guide attention to what matters. What feels like the darkest part of sleep may in fact be the beginning of repair, the first stage of renewal hidden within the fire of the night. Dreams have always been sources of mystery, But for the first time in history, science is beginning to study them with tools that reach directly into the sleeping brain. What was once confined to memory and interpretation is now becoming visible in real time. The future of dream science promises discoveries that may change not only how we understand sleep, but how we understand consciousness itself. Researchers are developing technologies to track dream activity as it unfolds. Using advanced neuroimaging, scientists can now detect patterns in the visual cortex that correspond to dream images. In experiments, subjects woken from REM sleep report seeing faces, objects, or movements, and brain scans reveal activity in areas that process those very categories. Though crude for now, these methods suggest that one day it may be possible to reconstruct dream content with striking accuracy. There are also experiments in dream communication. By signaling with predetermined eye movements, lucid dreamers have already shown they can interact with researchers from within sleep. Building on this, scientists are exploring ways to deliver information into dreams, playing sounds, flashing lights, or even asking questions that influence dream content. This raises possibilities both practical and ethical. Could dreams be guided to improve learning, creativity, or therapy? And what boundaries should be respected in such intimate exploration? Beyond laboratories, consumer technologies hint at new directions. Wearable devices already track sleep cycles and claim to influence dreams through sound cues. Some apps attempt to train lucid dreaming or strengthen dream recall. While the science behind many of these tools is still unproven, the interest reflects a growing desire to engage with dreams not as accidents of sleep, but as resources to be cultivated. One challenge for the future will be understanding the function of dreaming more deeply. Despite decades of study, scientists still debate whether dreams primarily serve memory, emotion, or creative problem-solving, or whether they are byproducts of other processes. Advances in artificial intelligence may assist here, as models of neural networks begin to simulate dreamlike activity, offering clues about why the brain drifts into these narratives. It is possible that in coming decades, dream science will reshape fields as diverse as medicine, psychology, education, and art. Therapies might directly target nightmares by altering dream content in real time. Students might reinforce learning while they sleep. Artists might collaborate with their own dreams as active partners. These possibilities inspire both excitement and caution, for the line between natural process and intervention is delicate. Dreams of the future can be seen as doors not yet opened. Behind them lies the potential to expand human understanding, but also the responsibility to tread carefully. The sleeping mind is one of the most private spaces we know. To study it is to touch the boundary between self and mystery. The horizon of dream science reminds us of how vast the unknown remains. Even as technology grows more precise, the heart of dreaming still resists capture. Perhaps that is its greatest gift, that even in an age of measurement and machines, there will always be visions that elude control, reminding us that part of the mind belongs forever to the night. Dreams do not exist apart from sleep. They arise within the cycles of rest that sustain both body and mind. As we arrive at this point in our journey, it is time once more to pause and remember the larger frame, sleep itself, the quiet rhythm that renews us each night. Biology shows that sleep is as essential as food and water. Without it, concentration falters, immunity weakens, and mood becomes unstable. Prolonged deprivation can even cause hallucinations, showing how deeply consciousness depends on nightly renewal. Within this restorative state, the body repairs tissues, strengthens immunity, and regulates metabolism. The heart slows, blood pressure decreases, and energy is conserved. Sleep is not a luxury but a foundation for health. At the same time, sleep carries the mind through cycles that sustain learning and emotional balance. Non-REM deep sleep consolidates factual memory, while REM integrates emotion, allowing us to recover from stress and prepare for challenges ahead. The two work in partnership, weaving together body and mind. When the cycles are disrupted, we feel it immediately in fatigue, irritability, or forgetfulness. When they are whole, the result is a sense of renewal that radiates through waking life. This chapter is also a gentle reminder: you do not need to force rest. Even if sleep feels slow to arrive, your body carries ancient rhythms that guide you toward it. Hormones rise and fall, brainwaves shift, and the very weight of tiredness itself is a sign that renewal is underway. Sleep is not something you must command. It comes as a natural current, carrying you without effort. Scientific research shows that even small improvements in rest can have powerful effects. A consistent bedtime, dim light before sleep, and moments of calm all help strengthen the circadian clock. Over time, these simple patterns train the body to expect rest, making it easier for both dreams and renewal to unfold. To describe sleep is to describe balance. It is both stillness and activity, silence and hidden work. One might compare it to a field lying fallow after harvest. On the surface, nothing seems to happen, yet beneath the soil, nutrients gather and roots strengthen. So it is with sleep. The pause is what makes growth possible. From this perspective, tonight's rest is already preparing you for tomorrow. Even now, your body is adjusting, your breath deepening, your mind softening its grip. Whether sleep arrives quickly or slowly, renewal is in motion. You are part of a rhythm older than any clock, a cycle shared by every living being. Sleep is the foundation on which dreams rise, and dreams are the subtle voice of sleep itself. In their union lies the secret of renewal, the body restored, the mind reorganized, the spirit steadied. To rest is not to lose time, but to gain it, transformed into energy, clarity, and peace. Throughout history, dreams have been woven into the fabric of culture, not as isolated curiosities, but as threads that connect communities, traditions, and identities. Across continents and centuries, people have looked to dreams for guidance, healing, prophecy, or inspiration. Each culture has shaped its own way of listening to the voices of the night, yet patterns emerge that reveal how universal the dreaming experience truly is. In ancient China, dreams were often seen as journeys of the soul. Philosophers debated whether they reflected inner truth or illusions of the mind. Taoist traditions sometimes treated dreams as glimpses into parallel realities, offering wisdom about balance and harmony. Records from the Han Dynasty show emperors seeking advice from dream interpreters before making decisions of state, suggesting that dreams were entwined with governance as well as philosophy. In Mesoamerican cultures, dreams held both spiritual and practical significance. The Aztecs and Maya believed they were messages from gods or ancestors, providing guidance for rituals, warfare, and agriculture. Priests kept dream records and taught interpretations as part of training. Dreams were not only personal but also collective, influencing decisions that shaped entire societies. African traditions, diverse as the continent itself, often regard dreams as channels of ancestral communication. In many communities, elders serve as interpreters, helping individuals understand visions and their implications. Dreams may be seen as warnings, as teachings, or as calls to action. The communal aspect is central. To share a dream is to strengthen the bonds between generations. Among indigenous peoples of North America, dreams play vital roles in spiritual practice. Vision quests, often involving fasting and solitude, invite dreams as revelations of purpose. Dreams may bring animal guides or ancestral voices, offering insight into personal growth and community responsibility. Such practices show how dreams can become rites of passage, shaping identity itself. Western traditions have taken their own path, influenced heavily by Greek philosophy, Christian theology, and later, psychoanalysis. While many early Western practices aligned with prophetic or divine interpretations, the rise of psychology reframed dreams as inner symbols rather than external messages. Today, Western culture often treats dreams with ambivalence. They are fascinating, but frequently dismissed as meaningless. Yet the popularity of dream diaries, dream therapy, and even dream-inspired art shows that fascination persists. Seen across cultures, dreams serve as mirrors of values and beliefs. Where one community sees divine messages, another sees ancestral ties, and another sees hidden aspects of the self. The differences highlight human diversity, while the similarities show shared questions. What do our dreams mean? Why do we dream? How should we act upon them? To picture this diversity, one might think of a river fed by countless streams. Each stream carries its own flavor, shaped by its land, yet they all converge into the same flow, the universal human experience of dreaming. Culture gives dreams their color and texture, but the underlying current is shared. The study of dreams across cultures reminds us that no interpretation is final. They are shaped by belief, ritual, and worldview, just as they are shaped by neurons and chemistry. Dreams are not only personal events but cultural expressions, part of the story humanity tells itself about what it means to be alive. Dreams, once confined to memory and myth, are increasingly being touched by technology. What was once purely internal is now becoming observable, recordable, and perhaps even shapeable. The intersection of sleep science and modern tools is opening possibilities that earlier generations could only imagine, and with those possibilities come new questions about privacy, ethics, and the essence of dreaming itself. Brain imaging is one of the most powerful tools in this exploration. Functional MRI and EEG allow researchers to observe patterns of activity during sleep. By comparing these patterns to waking states, scientists can identify when the brain processes faces, places, or movements. Some experiments have gone further, reconstructing dreamlike imagery from neural signals. While still crude and blurry, such reconstructions suggest a future in which we might one day see fragments of dreams on a screen. Other technologies attempt to influence dreams rather than record them. Devices that monitor sleep stages can deliver light, sound, or gentle vibrations during REM, nudging dream content in predictable directions. A sound of waves might encourage ocean imagery. A light pulse might trigger awareness in a lucid dreamer. Such experiments demonstrate that dreams are not sealed off from the outside world but remain sensitive to subtle cues. Consumer technology has followed closely behind. Sleep trackers promise to measure dream cycles, while apps guide users through practices meant to improve dream recall or induce lucidity. The accuracy of many of these claims is still debated, yet their popularity reveals something important. People want to interact with their dreams, to treat them not as accidents of sleep, but as frontiers for exploration. Artificial intelligence is also entering the field. Researchers use AI to analyze large collections of dream reports, finding patterns that humans might miss. These systems reveal recurring themes across cultures and ages, showing how certain symbols, falling, flight, pursuit, emerge universally. AI may also help generate models of dreamlike brain activity, offering clues to why the mind drifts into narrative during rest. With these advances come concerns. If dreams can be recorded, who controls that data? If they can be influenced, who decides how? The privacy of the sleeping mind is among the most intimate boundaries we have. Technology may offer new ways to heal trauma, boost creativity, or strengthen memory, but it also carries the risk of intrusion. The challenge ahead lies not only in what science can achieve, but in what society chooses to allow. Technology's relationship with dreams can be compared to opening a window into a house that was once sealed. The light that enters allows us to see more clearly, but it also changes the room itself. What was private becomes shared. What was untouchable becomes subject to choice. The question is whether opening the window will bring fresh air or let in unwanted noise. Dreams have always been elusive, slipping away with the morning light. As technology reaches further into this hidden landscape, we stand at a threshold between curiosity and caution. To explore dreams through machines is to confront not only their mystery but also our responsibility. For in seeking to reveal them, we must ask, what do we gain and what do we risk when the inner world is no longer entirely our own? Dreams and art have long shared a deep kinship. Both move beyond ordinary logic, relying on symbols, images, and emotions to convey meaning. Just as dreams present the strange and the impossible as if it were natural, art often seeks to make visible what words cannot contain. The dialogue between dreams and creativity stretches across centuries, shaping literature, painting, music, and film. Writers have often drawn directly from their dreams. Mary Shelley famously conceived Frankenstein after a vivid vision of a pale student kneeling beside the creature he had assembled. Robert Louis Stevenson credited his story Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde to dreamlike inspiration, saying he watched his characters act out the drama while he slept. Such examples remind us that dreams are not only private narratives but sources of cultural creation, feeding into works that influence generations. In visual art, dreams have inspired some of the most striking movements. The surrealists of the 20th century, led by figures like Salvador Dalí and René Magritte, sought to capture dream logic on canvas. Their paintings often combined everyday objects in impossible ways: melting clocks, floating men, doors opening into vast landscapes. These images, unsettling and captivating, reflected the strange realism of dreams, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Music, too, bears the imprint of dreams. Paul McCartney recalled waking with the melody of yesterday fully formed in his mind, unsure at first if it belonged to him or if he had heard it elsewhere. Giuseppe Tartini claimed that his Devil's Trill Sonata came from a dream in which the devil himself played the violin at his bedside. Such accounts suggest that the dream state may act as a hidden studio, where melodies and harmonies take shape before surfacing into consciousness. Film, with its fluid shifts of perspective and time, has perhaps the closest affinity with dreams. Directors from Ingmar Bergman to David Lynch have spoken of using dream imagery to guide their work. Cinematic techniques, dissolves, jump cuts, shifts between realism and fantasy, mirror the structure of dreams themselves. The result is art that feels at once familiar and unsettling, echoing the very texture of the dream state. Science offers one explanation for this fertile connection. During REM sleep, the brain forms associations more freely, linking distant concepts in ways that waking logic might block. This loosened network can generate images, stories, or sounds that feel wholly new. Artists who capture these fleeting inspirations are, in effect, collaborating with their dreaming minds. The relationship between dreams and art can be seen as a bridge between two worlds. On one side lies the inner landscape of imagination, fleeting and private. On the other side lies the shared world of culture, where those images take form and endure. Dreams provide raw material, and art gives it lasting shape. To think of this bond is to see how deeply human creativity depends on the unseen. The gallery, the library, the concert hall, all may be filled with works that began as fragile visions in the night. Dreams whisper to the artist, and the artist, in turn, offers those whispers to the world. We have traveled together through the landscapes of sleep and dreaming, exploring how the brain works in the dark, how cultures have listened to night visions, and how art and science continue to be inspired by them. Now, as our journey reaches its close, it is time to let the threads we have gathered settle into stillness. Dreams, we have seen, are both personal and universal. They arise from the activity of neurons, yet they carry emotions, memories, and images that reach beyond biology. They can frighten, heal, inspire, or confuse, but always they remind us of the mind's capacity to create worlds within itself. To dream is to participate in one of nature's most intricate processes, one that combines physiology, memory, and imagination into a nightly unfolding. Science tells us that while we sleep, the brain cleans itself, rewires its connections, and integrates the day into memory. Dreams are part of this hidden labor, a sign of the deep work underway. They are not accidents, but reflections of the very systems that keep us alive and learning. Even when they are forgotten by morning, they leave traces, shaping mood, thought, and creativity. Cultures across time have treated dreams as sacred, prophetic, or therapeutic. Ancient temples, indigenous rituals, and modern clinics all reveal the same insight, that what happens in dreams matters, whether as divine communication, ancestral wisdom, or psychological growth. The details differ, but the recognition is shared. Sleep and dreams belong to the heart of human experience. Art, too, has been enriched by the dream state. Literature, painting, music, and cinema have all drawn from its imagery, giving form to the fleeting visions of the night. Through these works, private dreams become collective, inspiring generations to see the familiar world with fresh eyes. To close our exploration, it may help to think of dreams as rivers returning to the sea. Each night they flow through the mind, carrying fragments of memory, currents of feeling, and flashes of imagination. By morning they have often dissolved, yet their passage shapes the landscape, leaving the mind renewed. They belong to us individually, yet they also belong to humanity as a whole, connecting us across time and place in a shared experience of mystery. As you rest now, there is no need to grasp at dreams or chase meaning. They will come in their own way, shaped by rhythms older than language. Whether they appear as vivid images or vanish before waking, they are part of the larger gift of sleep itself, the chance to restore, to integrate, to begin again. The science of dreams is still unfolding, and many questions remain unanswered. Perhaps that is as it should be. Mystery has its own value, inviting wonder where certainty cannot go. To dream is to step into that mystery each night, to walk for a while in landscapes that belong both to the brain and to the imagination. And so, our journey drifts to its end. Let the thoughts settle. Let the rhythm of breath carry you. The night will do its work, whether you remember or forget. From all that we have explored together, may you find rest, renewal, and peace. We from Sleeping with Science wish you a good night.